is. What time is it?
Let's see what the great Patrick Mahomes will do on this play.
But before we can talk about how great Patrick Mahomes is, we have a flag on the play.
Before the ball was snapped, pass interference on the defense, numbers 1, 2, and 3. By rule, the great and powerful Patrick Mahomes will elect where to place the ball. Hail Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, it's now 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. Ball is snapped.
Man, look at the way Patrick Mahomes handed off that ball. Superb technique.
But let's check out the flag on the play.
During the play, personal foul, violating Patrick Mahomes' personal bubble. The result of the play is first down, touchdown, and Chiefs win by 50 points. Hail Patrick Mahomes.
The roof is open for the first time for a Cowboys game in over 2 calendar years. Oh, they closed it.
The wind got in there and exacerbated the looseness.
First start, Angriff.
Oh!
5 Yards treffen.
I'm cosplaying as a sad Panda Jets fan.
I wish I had thought to do that with the Cowboys.
Well, I could always put my cowboy hat on top. Here we go. Now I'm both. Ooh, it's hot in this bag. How's everybody doing?
Wow. I guess the refs decided to be a little bit more objective this week with Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, we will definitely get to that. Before we do, though, how'd everybody do on their picks? Because I just got it. I'm so giddy. 5-0. I did it. I caught up to Edson, sort of. Not really.
5-0. I caught up to Edson too.
Don't tell me you were 5-0, Edson.
No, just like the start of hopefully Kansas City's downfall. This is my downfall too. I was 3-2.
Ooh,
yes,
we gained a little ground on the master. Well, all right, Edson. Your 3-2 brings you to 38-17. That is still.
That's pretty stellar.
If I can do my math right, you're 21 games over 500. If I did my math right.
Yeah,
You did.
I'm definitely feeling the pressure now.
You should, because Bruce is only 2 games behind you.
Yeah.
At
3 games behind. 3 games behind.
Oh, 3. Oh, yeah, right. See,
Lucky
I have had a lifelong battle with numbers, and the numbers are winning.
We still have 7 weeks left? Oh, plenty of time.
And I'm taking up the rear, 33-22, but I'm only 2 behind Bruce.
Okay, yeah.
That's where I had the 2. I was 2 behind you.
Okay.
I'll get my math right eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God you guys keep me honest.
He's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. My math skills are shockingly bad.
Stat of the day.
Hey.
Stat of the day.
No. Hey. That's my job. Okay. Stat of the day. Keith's math skills have gone away. What the hell? What the hey? What's he doing? The stat of the day.
Oh, man. Thank you, Bruce.
Ain't no problem. Glad I could help.
We like feeding Bruce the stats because we like to hear him sing to us. We like it when Bruce croons for us.
It sounds like I cringe.
Along with our audience and everyone else. But that's okay, because that's what we're here to do, is cause cringe.
Yeah.
We got a little news here. I'm going to put it in this view instead. The Jints. Edson texted us a couple days ago, hey, they're benching Daniel Jones, and then they decided to double down on that.
Wow.
And just get rid of him. So,
Yeah.
He asked for the release.
Yeah.
Who's he going to latch on to? Is he going to play the rest of the year with anyone, or you have no idea?
Well, he's out there for the taking now.
I mean, any team
got to clear waivers, right?
Yeah, if they get injured, there's injuries out there. I don't know who would do it, but maybe the Cowboys will.
I was
about to say that.
Well, if you look at the immediate response underneath from this guy Jacoby, he says Cowboys should sign him and start him against the Giants on Thanksgiving.
That would be awesome.
I was thinking about. I just thought about that.
That would be kind of awesome. But there are some teams that could probably. I mean, he's a solid backup, and but I don't know what the dead cap is on him. But chances are the Giants will be paying him the rest of the season and maybe even next year.
Oh, he got a pretty good contract. Yeah,
right. I don't know though. They released. I don't know how much of it's guaranteed.
Right. That's true.
Because it's not, like the Russell Wilson situation was a trade. This is an outright release. The Giants are definitely taking a dead cap hit for it. It's just
right.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with this contract because I kind of just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest. If the Giants were contenders, I would probably care a little bit, but they're a dumpster fire. They got like 2 good players on that team. They have they have Lawrence. Who else do they have?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other than those 2.
Yeah, maybe the Jack can help us. Anybody a Giants fan out there? Sorry, pooping all over you if you're a Giants fan.
I feel bad for neighbors. Yeah, jeez.
I feel bad for New York.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Got my bag here. Look at that. I even did the logo. Look at that.
That is impressive work.
Thank you. I did it while I had breakfast.
Without the creamer for the coffee.
I had just a little bit. It's not the color I like it, but yeah. I just got up and said, I got a great idea. I'm going to put a jetpack on my head today. Let's get into last week's games, shall we? We covered this Redskins-Eagles game last week.
Right.
Yeah. So we could just touch on it quickly again that, it was a tight game. It was 12-10 with 4 and change to go. And Dan Quinn decides not to kick a field goal to go up 13-12. And boy, did the wheels come off the wagon in a hurry.
Yes, you're not kidding.
Holy moly. I mean, everything's hindsight is what it is. It's always easy to armchair quarterback after the fact. But I thought he should have kicked it and gone up by 1, especially the way that game was playing out.
Yeah.
And all the momentum swung right back to Philadelphia. All of a sudden, Saquon Barkley could just do whatever he wanted at will, scored 2 quick tutties, and that was the end of the game. So
you got to admire the Philadelphia fans, though. Saquon Barkley was getting interviewed. You hear this whole bunch of groups singing, "Thank you, New York." Thank you, New York.
Bruce is piling on the Giants or anything, but he's piling on the Giants.
Oh, sorry.
That was the first
one for you.
That was the first thought I had way back in the offseason when the Eagles signed him. Jeez.
I know. I mean, to let him get away in the division just hurts. Hurts. So the big test for the Commanders coming up. They've now starting 7-2. They've dumped 2 in a row to Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. So they don't have to play Pennsylvania again, do they? One more time. I don't know.
They have to play down here in Philly.
They do.
Philly's playing down here.
All right. So they do have Pennsylvania one more time. Maybe they'll get off the schneid.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sunday's games. Let's start with your game, Bruce. Holy moly. I had him as my top pick of the week. And I was flop sweating this one out.
I'll tell you, never, ever go to Buffalo Wild Wings with a Bears fan. He was sitting right next to me. How you like my team now? How you like them? Huh? I'm like, we're still going to win. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
This is a lesson for you kids out there. You do not gloat until the game is over.
Exactly. That's right. I kept on saying we're going to win. I'm not going to say anything else.
I learned that lesson in high school when Bill Buckner had a ground ball go through his legs after listening to Red Sox fans harass me all night about the Red Sox winning that game and the World Series. And the ball went through Buckner's legs, and I was making return phone calls at 2 a.m.
Well, the worst part for me that World Series, I was going out with Ron Darling's cousin, and I was living in Connecticut at the time. And she's the only one in the room that was rooting for the Mets. And everyone's like, Bruce, man, what are you doing going out with her? Well, I don't want to tell you anything else, but she's like rooting for the Mets, and at the end of the World Series, I told you it was going to happen. I'm like, yeah, whatever, go away. We're breaking up.
I just remember gloating over Wade Boggs crying in the dugout, and then he ended up a Yankee a few years later, and I was like, I love Wade Boggs.
I'm here to comfort you.
Yeah, we needed more players to hit singles.
That's right.
Right.
So, Bruce, 2 weeks in a row, we have a last-minute field goal kick blocked for a win.
Yes.
This time it benefits the Packers.
Yes.
Holy moly. Did Jordan Love make more
Jordan
mistakes?
Love did the stupidest play when the Packers were going for a touchdown to go 4th and 3. He decides to run around and it gets hit in the middle of next week. I'm like, this game's over. It was in the fourth quarter. Then but they have some great wide receivers. They are a good young team. So I mean, they're still my boys. I still have faith in them. But that game gave me agita big time.
Well, Caleb played better, but still can't get in the end zone. I think the offensive coordinator switch definitely helped. But Matt Eberflus strikes again. So if we go back a couple weeks when they played Washington and they lost on that Hail Mary, he famously allowed Washington to gain an extra 12 or 15 yards the play before that, which got them closer for the Hail Mary pass. And then said after the fact, oh, that play didn't matter because it always comes down to the last one anyway, which was
the stupidest
thing heard from a head coach, right? This week he did the opposite, but he did it again. They elected not to run a play to get a little closer for the field goal attempt at the end, and it ends up getting blocked because it was a longer kick.
Yeah, wasn't it second down?
A longer kick, you got to kick it on a lower trajectory, so it was easier.
Yeah, well, was it second down when they decided to do it?
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah.
Come on.
So he didn't even run on a play, and then said, "Oh, it doesn't matter." Again, kind of thing. And it's just like, this guy,
the coach of your Chicago Bears.
Yeah, way to go, Chicago. So yeah, that's where the Packers file that one.
Yes. It's like a bye. No, I'm not gonna do that. No.
What's that? What were you gonna say?
It was like almost having a bye week, but no. But nope.
Not a divisional game. I mean,
not a divisional game.
They're brutal.
It doesn't matter what your record is. You want to beat that divisional opponent so bad. You know, they circle them on the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So Edson was texting me during this. Detroit and
this is what I like about this team. No matter what the opponent is, no matter who's on the other side, they always go with the same exact mindset. This isn't an opponent that we need to just
dominate
and win like our usual. Like they don't hold back anything every single game, and that's great because that mentality carries from week to week. So you never have one of those. Hopefully, one of those dud games where it's like, oh, we're okay, and then next thing you know, they lose, and they have that mentality, and that's why they're up there right now.
This is the team that has taken on the personality of its coach completely.
Yes.
And when he says we're going to bite your kneecaps off, he means it. They are. I mean, every week, Amon-Ra St. Brown and those two backs are unbelievable. Gibbs and Montgomery just. The 1-2 punch they have. Gibbs is so fast. Do you see some of those?
Yeah.
Oh my God, those runs he had. They just piled it on 52-6, non-competitive. Doug Peterson, if his suitcases aren't packed, I'll have to go over and help him because wow. I guess they're gonna let him ride out the year. I mean,
I don't know. Once you get to this part of the season, it's like what do you do?
Unless you're the Jets and fired somebody.
That was right. That was also. I should
even that was like what, week 4 or 5? I forgot what.
I think it was 5 at the. I think 5 at the most.
But they also, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show, they fired their general manager this week.
That's true.
Joe Douglas. I think the Daniel Jones thing was. The news cycles happen so fast that Joe Douglas getting fired Monday was memory hold so fast. Yeah. So now they don't have a coach or a GM in New York. So they're a mess. But we'll get to the Jets in a bit. Edson, your Dolphins, man. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it come together. They're going to get a wild card. I'm calling it.
I'm not sure about that because this game was. I know it looks like it was pretty easily handled, but this was like a 5-point game, like in the somewhere in the middle of the fourth quarter. Then, yeah, it had one of those fluke plays where they got it back, and I believe it was might have been a defensive touchdown or a turnover, and just the next thing you know, they just kind of just cruised to the end, and it made it look like it was an easy game. But it was a pretty competitive game throughout until that time. So I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess, but this was not an easy game for them to win.
Well, they were fighting a little Minshew magic for at least a half, but that's the Gardner Minshew way, right? You keep it close and then screw up. Vegas has a huge problem. I mean, they've got no quarterback. Hey, maybe they want Daniel Jones. I don't think the head coach survives this.
He's a good dude too.
I like Antonio Pearson. Last year, at the beginning, I remember we made our predictions. I thought they'd be a little more competitive because he gets them to play hard. Like last year, they finished up strong with him, but that's not necessarily happening.
No.
They do have that great tight end though, Bowers.
Oh my gosh, that guy was. Oh, jeez.
What he had like 130.
I think it was like 160s.
158 was it?
Something 13 like targets. Oh my gosh, it was like, yeah, they definitely have a. That's another one. It's just like neighbors. That's the one guy I feel bad for on that team. It's like
him and Max Crosby. There's a little more talent. They're hurting at quarterback. And I really don't understand why they let Jones get away to not Jones.
Carr? No.
The running back. Jacoby Jones. Yeah, Jacoby Jones. Right?
Now I'm trying to think.
He was their back last year. Jacoby Jones. He's with the Packers.
Is it Jacoby? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, he's with the Vikings. No. I thought you were talking about Aaron Jones. Okay, I'm done.
I thought it was Aaron Jones too.
Maybe Saturday morning's a bad idea. Lunch. Yeah, it was Jacoby Jones, wasn't it?
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Wasn't that his name? I don't remember. He was all I know. He was a stud in Oakland or LA or Vegas or whatever they call him, and they let him walk. Now they really don't have a running game either. So I don't know. They just got some house cleaning to do. Tom Brady has got some work to do now that he's partial owner of the team. I think he's going to have a lot to say with personnel. But Edson, I'm feeling it with Miami. I'm telling you, they just look different with you.
Yeah.
Confidence is running through Edson's veins.
I could say definitely their offense is back to what it was. Mm-hmm. And I knew with Tua back and that coach they have a pretty good relationship. I just get just a little bit too shaky on the defense. And of course there's always that thing in the back of my head, any given play, what happens to Tua, if he goes out, that's the issue.
Well, that is the one X factor I'll give you. I'll asterisk they're going to get a wild card. If he gets hurt again, they're not. But if he stays in the rest of the year, I think they're getting in.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could end up 9-8 or even 10-7. We'll see. I mean, they have a weak division. They're going to, Speaking of weak division. All right, before we even get into the Rams, Drake May is real. He's real.
He's really good.
I'm shocked because, quarterback coming out of a school like North Carolina, I know he looked good down there. And what a difference when he got hurt in college, how poorly North Carolina looked without him. But they're not a football powerhouse, so you just don't know. In the ACC, it's got a few good teams in it, but overall, it's not really a power. It's considered a power conference, but when you put it up against the SEC or the Big Ten or something, it's just not. But boy, the scouts in New England saw something that a lot of people didn't. He really looks good. And he's developing fast with nothing around him, really. He's got no offensive line, no real skilled players to bail him out.
Yeah,
He's
that,
doing, with
that's
pure.
why I was saying at the beginning of the year, it's like, why are you even bothering with the another play? You drafted this guy to play. The earlier you get him out there, the earlier you're going to have him developed to the point where you can just take over the team. So I was kind of like, why are you putting Jacoby Brissett out there? But
Now, at the same time, we've seen, like with the Jets in particular, that strategy backfires if the team around him can't support him properly. Look what happened to Sam Darnold. Look what happened to Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
These guys, they can't develop properly because they're just full of bad habits because they're running for their lives. They're just, they're throwing up prayers. They're not playing on schedule, on time with an offense that's working. So there's two different schools of thought. Do you leave them sitting for a year and watching a veteran play, or do you throw them right into the wolves? I think it just comes down to the individual mental makeup of that quarterback. Can they handle it or not? Drake May can. A guy like Zach Wilson cannot. And that's part of the scouting process.
Yeah, that's true.
The mental strength of these guys is a huge part of it. And I think a lot of that goes by the wayside because they're worried about his 40 speed and his arm strength. And they get caught up in those matrix instead of just, what's this guy got in the can up here,
Well, the best example of that is we all remember this, and was it 98? It was between Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf.
Yeah.
And
oh, yeah, jeez.
yeah, everyone said, "Oh, Ryan Leaf, he's like the man." And everyone's like, Peyton, but Peyton Manning was like, he knew the game, he studied the game, he was mental capacity for the game, he was a student of the game. But Ryan Leaf said, "Oh, I can do that." And then they got up here, and Ryan Leaf's head, and Ryan Leaf said, "Vacant."
Yeah. And there was a big difference with their will to win
Mm-hmm.
and their belief in their own abilities. And Peyton Manning, I really like Peyton Manning, but he's got a huge ego. Let's face it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He knows who he is. And he
Right.
comes from his father, the pedigree was right there. And now, it's trickling down to a third generation now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a great example. Because they fell in love with Ryan Leaf's measurables, his size, his arm strength, all that.
Right. It was like 6'5", 235, something like that.
Yeah, he was big.
He was a big dude.
Yeah, he was like Roethlisberger big.
Mm-hmm.
And they whiffed. They whiffed. That was one of the biggest draft busts of all time.
Right.
Right next to Tony Mandarich. But
the incredible bulk.
Remember that?
Yeah.
But the Rams. Boy, it's too bad they laid an egg the week before, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still worry about that. Just like, and I think I texted this, that whole division, except for, ironically, Arizona. It's like, how do they just struggle with these games? They lost at home last week to Miami, and they come in and barely beat the Patriots. I don't know. And they really can't use the whole injury thing as an excuse anymore right now. So I don't know what's going on with both them and San Francisco, who we'll talk about a little bit later.
It's not their offense in this particular case.
No.
He had 4 touchdown passes.
I know.
You see the one to Cooper Kupp right down the middle of the field.
Oh, yeah.
So wide open. He was like jogged. He was almost walking to the end zone. There was nobody near him. Yeah. I mean, you can't blame Matthew Stafford or the offense.
No.
And their defense, their defense has been solid. They're, with Verse and these guys. Imagine if they still had Aaron Donald on this team.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I think about that all the time. Yeah.
But they're just, I don't know. It bears worth watching. They did start 1-4, so they're 4-1 in their last, 5 games. It's just that one that they dropped was the week before, and it kind of slowed their momentum a little bit.
Right.
But if they stay on this trajectory, they should end up with 10 or 11 wins easily. So it bears watching. That division's wide open. It's anybody's to win. It's like nobody wants it. Hot potato.
Yeah, and they got I think they have the Eagles this coming week.
Do they?
Yep.
Interesting. Well, you guys mocked me for this one.
I didn't mock you. I did think it would go the other way, that's for sure.
Remember I said it says no on my paper here that I wrote down. No, which stands for New Orleans, but I believed in them at home, and they prove me.
This game was 14-14 at one point, I thought, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, it was
I don't
close.
know what happened. Was that the point at which, because I saw, I as soon as I saw this, the New Orleans pull away, I'm like, what's going on? Why? And then I see that I didn't see any stats. What happened to Myles Garrett on this game? It's like I didn't see him there at all. I don't know. I don't know what happened to their defense.
Yeah, I don't know what happened either. I just saw the highlights and I saw Taysom Hill just going.
Yeah, he was all over.
Oh, I like Taysom Hill a lot. I really do.
Yards rushing, another 60 receiving, return.
He had like 7 carries for 135 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he scored 2 touchdowns received. He had 3 touchdowns total. From a tight end.
Yeah.
Can also play running back, quarterback.
Yeah. Again, that's on me for not noticing how that was not a story that Garrett was an injury problem in this game. I would have never picked the Browns if I saw that he was going to be out.
Yeah. Yeah, especially after how he looked this week.
Yeah. Look how he looks every week. Every week I see it's like 3 sacks, 2 sacks, and I don't know what happened to him then.
There's just not a lot of press when you have a team like the Browns going in that were 2-7 at the time, facing a team that was
that's true.
That just made a coaching change. It's just it's one of those, no matter who you're watching or listening to, they just blow through this game. They don't really want to spend a lot of time on it. So and who can blame them? But
that's a player that I'm like, it's too bad that guy's gonna miss. Somebody like Myles Garrett should be somewhere in a playoff run somewhere.
Right.
We're going to be missing that. He's going to be sitting home when he could be.
It's funny you say that. Thursday night, I'm watching the game, and they show him standing on the sidelines. And I said to my buddy Doug sitting next to me, I said, he's just got to be hating life.
Yeah.
How has he not demanded a trade yet? I mean, because they're years away from fixing this now in Cleveland.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That Watson contract is going to just kill them for roster building. You're just not going to be able to build a team.
I have one comment about New Orleans. Drano boy pushes through another one.
Yeah, I was wrong about that. I thought that would affect them, but it affected their opponent instead.
Yeah, maybe he backed up all the toilets in the Superdome. When the Browns got in there, they were like, whoa, I know we're the Browns, but damn.
No more visuals.
He browned them out, that coach.
That's right. Brown out.
Browned out the Browns.
And that's just the one last thing about Myles Garrett. That's a really good point that he must, hate that situation. But you got to give him a lot of credit. He's a professional. He goes out there every single day.
Yes, he is.
So, I hope something good comes out of this for him.
Yeah, in his post-game interview after Thursday night's game, he just seems to really like it there. Maybe he just likes not having the spotlight on him.
Maybe.
Well, Myles Garrett reminds me of someone who used to play for the Redskins. He reminds me of like Charles Mann. He just goes out there and does his job.
Yeah,
he's built like Charles Mann too. I mean, Myles Garrett is a beast, but he the way you look at him is like, that dude is how much? How much does he weigh? And he doesn't look. He's chiseled.
Oh my God,
he really, really is.
He looks like he's carved out of rock. He does.
Yes.
And he doesn't worry about he just worries about his particular job. He doesn't sit there like, well, if we had a better offense or if so and so, he doesn't get into that stuff with the reporters and stuff.
No, he doesn't. No, he's very positive. He's a very positive person for a guy who's been on a team that lays an egg year after year after year.
Mm-hmm.
Who every season they come in with higher expectations.
Yeah.
And by, week 5 or 6, it's already obvious that they're out of it. But yeah, he's a unique player. And we'll get into it we'll talk about Thursday real quick at the end here. But this one, the slobber knocker of the week. The Steelers getting another rock fight with the Ravens. Holy.
Oh my gosh. Football the way it was meant to be.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
No, I mean I like watching those games because it's like two brothers, like Cain and Abel from biblical days. They're fighting each other.
You're right.
It's so basic.
It really all season long that the that this is what's going to be between these two teams. It was no
You almost
surprise.
got your tie there, Edson. Yeah. First, the big question that comes out of this game is what the F is wrong with Justin Tucker?
Oh yeah.
Field goals right out of the gate. One was like 53, I think, and the other one was 47 or something, and he missed them both. And he wasn't kicking into the. If you've ever been to Heinz Field now, Acrisure Stadium, there's one side that's harder to kick in because the wind comes off the river.
Mm-hmm.
And he was facing the opposite way both times he missed. He wasn't kicking into the difficult zone. There's something, I don't know if it's his mechanics or what, but his accuracy now has dropped below. The Carolina kicker is now more accurate all time than him.
Yeah.
And Chris Boswell is about to become the most accurate kicker of all time. And this is the second game this season that the Steelers have won where he kicked 6 field goals and they didn't score a touchdown.
Stat of the day. Got Keith with another stat of the day. Watch Justin Tucker kick the ball away. Where the hell is it going? Oh, stat of the day.
Yeah, well, this just came across the teletype machine. You can't win a Super Bowl like this.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And well, you can't win it by scoring only 16 points either. So, and I don't want to put too much onto this, but we talk about like how some players get broken or whatever. But wasn't Tucker that I'm trying to remember now? Was it the playoffs against Kansas City where there was an incident prior to the game where he Mahomes had some kind of setup at a point where he was supposed to be practicing, or Baltimore was supposed to be, or Lamar was supposed to be, and then he kicked something away, or maybe
it was
Kansas City's.
Kelsey was doing it. Kelsey came over and told Justin Tucker to go somewhere else and kicked his tee and everything.
Yeah,
and then Tucker put it back and he did it again.
Yeah. And I don't know. After Kelsey probably did that to him.
Geez, you could probably trace this right back to that because didn't he miss a kick in that game?
Yes, he did. And ever since then, I haven't.
Wow, Edson, you might be.
I don't know. Something. I don't know why I remember that. It's like it was so hilarious
because they lost that playoff game last year, and then he hasn't been right since.
He hasn't like really been good with since.
Oh, wow!
Hey, Keith, hit the music, man. That's scary.
And for Edson's sleuth skills, yeah. Got the whole crowd for you.
I wonder about him.
No, it's remarkable. And then there's the Steelers' ability to contain and almost neutralize Lamar Jackson.
Yep, that's for sure.
Remember back when the Red Sox Yankees thing in the late 90s, early 2000s was the marquee matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Martinez, what did he say about the Yankees? Because he could never beat them.
Right.
They're my daddy.
They're my daddy.
Right.
Pedro would smoke every other team he faced, but he couldn't beat the Yankees. And Lamar, same thing. I mean, they're scoring 30, 40 points a week, and then they get to Pittsburgh, and he throws for 133 yards. He was airmailing his receivers, airmailing them. There was only one. He did make a great play. He extended the play out. He threw a perfect strike to a wide open Flowers, and it hit him in the face, and he missed. He dropped it.
Oh, jeez.
Hit him right in the face. And so there's plays like that, but both sides have that happen. I think that the big things that defined this game was that Derrick Henry fumbled right away.
That really changed.
Like the second play of the game, second or third play of the game, he fumbled. He never fumbles.
Yep.
And then Patrick Queen came and stripped the ball and recovered his own fumble later in the game from Lively. And then, of course, I don't know if you guys saw the Peyton Wilson, the rookie linebacker, when he went up with Flowers to catch that ball. There was a jump ball down the sideline.
Oh, yes.
And he ripped it away from him.
Yep.
That was a great play.
So, I mean, it was one of those games. Everybody left with a black eye and a bloody lip.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait to do it again type of game.
And they're doing it again in a couple weeks. Yeah.
And you wonder whether it's such a slugfest that it has maybe it has after effects. Obviously, we saw that Thursday game. Well, I don't know if they had after effects with Pittsburgh, and we'll see what happens when Baltimore plays the Chargers. But they have a couple extra days. Obviously, have a couple extra days.
Yeah.
To recover.
Yeah. The 8 versus 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Vikings looked like the Vikings, and maybe they validated my power rankings again.
Go back and forth on this one.
Yeah, but you know what? I do have a clip here from this game. Where is it? Right here. So Mayonnaise Boy, who, Beavis and, or what do I call him? Leavis and Butthead, is always good for a big mistake, but he is responsible now for the longest touchdown from scrimmage.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. That comes from him.
That is the one Titan highlight all year anybody's going to show, I think.
Yeah.
Minnesota with a rare defensive lapse, but overall, Sam Darnold looked great.
Yeah, and I keep wondering when something might happen. The thing of it is, I know we keep saying that it's whatever opponent you have, and he seems to be doing well against the kind of lesser. Like, I want to see what happens, towards against the division, and if they make the playoffs, which it looks like they might. Like, what happens in the playoffs? Is he going to melt down there?
Yeah. I mean, you can say, clearly the Titans record shows who they are, but they are not a team that gets steamrolled.
No,
they're in every game.
They show up. I know
they keep it close, but they just don't have enough skilled players at the skilled positions too.
Well, everything happened when they fired Vrabel.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I cannot believe that guy's not a head coach somewhere.
He will be next year. Next year.
I agree. All right. It's brown bag time.
He might even come. Well, if he's smart, he won't. But even the Jets might come after him for next year.
I think the Jets should go after him. I'm going to put my bag on him. So, yeah, it's looking pretty sad for the Jets.
This was such a weird game. It's like they did nothing for like the first. What did they have? Like one first down in the first down. They made one play because the Colts can't take advantage of how bad they played, and they're right back in it. Then they make it they make another play, and then they're up 14-13 all of a sudden, and it's like, what happened? But
I
then,
think
of course,
they got their first down with like 1:27 to go.
Yeah.
Half. A lot of it has to do with this. Number 8. He's washed.
And there's still a lot of people talking about him coming back next year.
He said he wants to come back next year. He already said that.
Yep.
Remember they used to call T.O. Team Obliterator?
Mm-hmm.
I think Aaron wants the mantle. Yeah, it's boy, was he out of sync. And then he figured it out, and they looked like they should have looked all year.
All year, yeah.
Breece Hall looked good all of a sudden. It's just their defense is so bad. They have slipped so bad. They don't tackle. They just don't tackle. I mean, did you see Anthony Richardson just running people? I almost put that highlight in too, where he's just trucking people.
Mm-hmm.
And Sauce Gardner, what is he doing?
He's on the sauce.
I think.
Unlike Myles Garrett, he's just kind of like whatever. Doesn't show.
I mean, did he get literally drunk off his press clippings or something?
Maybe.
He must have.
He must be. If he doesn't lead defensive backs in DPIs, he's got to be close to the top. Yeah, as everybody runs by him and he pulls them down. They got a lot of work to do.
And yet they still had a really good chance of winning this. And another coaching type mistake. It's like, and we're going to talk about a similar situation when the Buffalo Kansas City comes in the fourth quarter, up by 2. What is it? What was it, like 4th and 2 at the like 20-something yard line? They decide to kick the field goal, even though a minute before, the Colts just went right down the field to score a touchdown, like with no chance of anyone stopping them. They did decide to go up by 5, and then what happens? Colts come back again and win this game. And I don't know how at this point you wouldn't just go for there just to just slam the door on their face.
Yeah, why would you not just go for it? You're a 3-win team. Your season's over already, and it's nice to say you have faith in your defense to stop them. But
where are you getting that from?
But where are you getting it from?
If you look at the numbers since they fired Robert Saleh, they aren't stopping. They aren't stopping the 3 of us,
right?
And also, and Bruce will love this stat of the day, from Steve Palazzo.
Oh yeah, this was crazy.
I saw that.
Winning percentage as a Jets starting quarterback. Zach Milfman Wilson has the highest rated winning percentage of the last 3 Jets quarterbacks, followed by seeing ghosts Sam Darnold, and washed up Aaron Rodgers is coming in last with a winning percentage of .273.
Stat of the day, stat of the day. What the hell's going on with the Jets anyway? Everybody said he needs to go away. Aaron Rodgers, you just made stat of the day.
Thank you. And Jets Bag agrees with you. Thank you, Jets Bag.
And remember what Jets stands for. What does it stand for?
Just end the season.
End the season.
That's right. Special thanks to our guest this week, Jets Bag.
Yeah, there you go.
He'll be back.
Jets
I think
Bag,
he'll be back.
I think Jets Bag will be returning at some point.
Probably. Yeah.
So, but when we did our disappointments last week, I think we got to rank the Jets at the top, because of the expectations coming into the season. When they got Aaron Rodgers, even last year, this was now a Super Bowl contending team, or so they thought. He goes down last year; they get a hall pass, but my God, he's coming in, and their numbers are worse than when they had Zach Wilson, and that was rough to watch.
That was bad.
So I don't know. Both New York teams, my God, just put them both in a blender and come back with one team that's maybe decent. Because my God, can you imagine being a New York football fan right now?
Could you imagine paying all that money to watch a game in New York?
No,
yeah.
If I had season tickets, they'd be on StubHub. It's quite the dichotomy from the New York baseball fan right now that's got 2 great baseball teams to watch.
Mm-hmm.
They've got nothing come fall. So sorry about that, New York. But hey, what are you going to do? How about your Denver Broncos, everybody? And how about that Bo Nix?
Yep.
4 tutties, no picks, 360 something yards passing, 370, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
This was
good.
My favorite pick of the week.
I can't believe this.
I mean, I thought that the Broncos would make some headway with Peyton and starting with a new quarterback and everything, but they're way ahead of schedule now.
They are at least a year, if not a year and a half, 2 years ahead of schedule. I never saw this coming. I really didn't. And I mean, the rest of the team, they've got no-name players everywhere except for Cortland Sutton. And they are just, I mean, they look good. They've looked good the last 5 or 6 weeks now.
Yeah.
Even in losing. They should have beaten the Chiefs last the week.
Right.
That was
Mm-hmm.
fortunate. And again, that if you don't watch, I highly recommend watching on YouTube. That's Good Sports, Brendan Perna. Because he diagnoses a lot of stuff, and he found that guard that goes out for kicks, special teams, the guard has been pushed backward onto his butt 8 times now. So when the Chiefs blocked that kick, that's exactly what happened. They trucked the guy. He landed on the ground, and they blocked the kick. You got to make a change there.
Well, hopefully they'll make a
How
change before
the special teams coach or Peyton and nobody's caught that yet.
Yeah,
but a YouTuber catches it.
I know.
Come on. Give Perna a job on your coaching staff, for God's sakes.
The most knowledgeable person you're talking about, listening to outsiders talk about sports. If you listen to Greg Cosell, oh my goodness, on Cowherd, Greg Cosell will break down every play to its minutest. And I mean, it's incredible what he sees. It's like Cowherd calls it like a meat sandwich because he's talks about variables. He talks about concepts. You're like, I didn't know that. And he goes, yeah, you have to look at this. The receiver's going to that, but I'm like, okay. You're just like totally blown away.
And what's helped, I guess, if you get this NFL Plus package now, you can get like film study stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can get the whole 22 view and stuff like that, so you could see everything plays for. So if you're into that kind of stuff, the coaching aspect of it, I guess that's the way to go. I wish I had the spare time to do that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, really. I wish I did too, but
yeah. So we're not on somebody's payroll to be paid to do that. So.
Right. We just spitball and we're doing a hell of a job.
Well, thank you, Bruce. Pat ourselves.
And the Broncos is one of the main reasons why I don't get overly confident about the Dolphins, because there's going to be a jam lock trying to get those last few playoff spots. As the Broncos, you got the Chargers doing well. Indianapolis just won. It's like it's going to be one of these teams is going to be really disappointed at the end.
Yeah,
one or more.
It's going to come down to that one spot. We can kind of see who's getting the first 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, we still got 7 weeks to go. So
I know.
Now the team
completely. I know.
The Falcons, they had the road to gold paved for them with all the injuries to Tampa Bay and Tampa Bay dropping a couple of games. Tampa Bay lost both games head to head with them. And now all of a sudden they barely have a 1-game lead over Tampa. They beat 1.5 because they beat him with the tiebreaker.
But now Tampa's got, Evans, I believe, is coming back this week. They got the next 3 games, I believe, are very easy for them.
Very winnable. Yeah. The Falcons are stubbing their toe and starting to look like the Falcons that they always look like.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they turned that corner with Kirk Cousins, and now they're talking maybe they use Michael Penix.
Wow.
I don't know. Penix did see action late in this game, but it was garbage time. This game, Geno. Did you see that?
Geno.
Yeah, this was by
the
far
scramble.
My disappointing pick of the week to lose like that. And as soon as I saw Bosa go out, and I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good. I fully believe that if he had stayed in the game, that wouldn't have happened. But well, that's the way it is.
Yeah, it can. The woulda, coulda, shouldas. Who knows? It's all hypothetical at this point. But you got to give the old man credit. I was shocked to hear Geno's age. I didn't realize he's like 35.
Wow.
I mean, he's been around that long, right? Because you never see a reclamation project like him, where you are really inept for 10 years, and then all of a sudden you figure it out.
Well, he was with the Jets for a while, so you got to put an asterisk on that. Was he really
Jets, the Giants? Yeah, and he looked terrible. But to give Pete Carroll credit for seeing something in this guy after all that time sitting on people's benches, giving him a legitimate shot where he would actually dump Russell Wilson in a trade and go with Geno Smith, and I like Geno. I know he's not spectacular. I know he's not an elite quarterback. There's something about this guy. And I was happy.
He gets the job done.
He gets the job done. I still think they're going to have to, they've got to have a plan for the future.
Yeah.
But for now, I don't know. Hey, he's keeping him in there for a Seahawk team that I thought would be last place for sure in a total rebuild. From Pete Carroll's days. 49ers, I don't know what to make of them.
Neither do I. It's like, I know they lost Ayuk, but it's like they got McCaffrey back. And, if they're going to make a move, it would be now. And it's like not happening. Look at that. Now, 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, all 5-5. Talk about luck, jam. And Arizona is the one that's
Arizona's in first place. Good God.
This division's always like this somehow.
It doesn't matter how much you read or watch or analyze and break down, that you cannot predict this league year to year. You just cannot. There's no way. If you told me halfway through the season the Cardinals will be in first place, the 49ers will be 500, the Rams will be 500, and Seattle will be tied with them, I'd laugh at you.
I didn't hear anyone Even those people who get paid a lot of money for it ever say that.
Yeah. Well, all hail Patrick Mahomes. Before we even get into the game, I had to put this because when he loses, we have to gloat, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We're gonna pile on, and I made a video that makes him look totally inept. Here we go. Isn't that glorious? Sorry, Chiefs fans, but we very rarely get to do stuff like that. So we're going to take the shot.
And you saw
right.
that first play that it showed where he threw an easy interception, but the guy dropped it. And I hated those times. It seems like it happens all the time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how could you give this guy all these chances?
I haven't seen him look like that out of sorts since the Tampa Bay Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's a good
when the Buccaneers just beat the snot out of him. Boy, that was glorious.
Well, teams, defensive coordinators, time to get on film study this game for the future.
Well, let's face it, they really should have 4 losses.
Definitely more than one. That's for sure.
One more than one. They should have lost to Baltimore week 1. Very could have.
Right.
Easily lost.
The toenail game. The toenail game.
They could have easily lost to the Buccaneers.
Oh, yes, that's right.
They should have lost that game. They should have definitely lost the Denver game the week before. They should be on a 2-game losing streak.
An extra point field goal, that's 99% of the time.
And then finally, somebody actually got them and put them down. And my favorite part of it was Josh Allen rumbling for that, 32 yards or whatever at the end.
On the 4th down.
On the
same type of situation as we just talked about the Jets, where the Jets didn't do it, and Buffalo's like, this is the only way this is the way to beat Kansas City. You don't just hold back and hope for the best. No, you have to actually take it, and that's what he did. That's what they did.
The big difference is if Aaron Rodgers tried that, he'd get destroyed, break a million bones in his body, and he's 100 years old. But boy, to have Josh Allen do that to him, to put the dagger in, was just awesome. And then that last pick, where that was the last one on that little reel I just had.
Yep. I saw
where
that.
Mahomes he bought tons of time. I'm like, oh no, because usually when that happens and there was no pressure,
someone comes wide open. I know
someone comes wide open and he hits them, and I'm like, here we go again with this 13 seconds crap. And he threw it right. That was awesome. He threw into triple coverage, and he got picked. And the guy made a great interception diving for it.
It was definitely a great play.
I think between the 3 of us, that loss launched 1,000 memes between the 3 of us. We were texting each other the Taylor Swift crying meme. Oh, there were so many of them.
Now, let's not get overly giddy. The Bills beat them all the time in the regular season.
True.
Now the Bills are 4-0 against them in the regular season,
know.
And 0-3 against them in the postseason.
Yeah.
And there's a high probability that these two teams will meet in the postseason. So let's hope Josh Allen's over that hump and he can take them out again when it counts. But for now,
yeah, I know. I'm really hoping the Bills or another team takes away that number 1 seed, because I want the Chiefs to have to work at it really hard, like at least 3 chances at a loss before they try to get to.
Well, that's what happened last year, and unfortunately, they went through.
I know. You're right.
Yeah, they had to play all 3 games on the road last year.
Yep.
Mahomes is like, yeah, whatever. They're very frustrating. The Chiefs are very frustrating. If you're a Chiefs fan, good on you, but I hate them. Boy, this
was quite a game.
You're the Bengals.
That was a great game. The
Bengals have the top passer in the league. They have the top receiver in the league. They have the top sack leader in the league. And I believe they're at the top in points overall, if not number 2 or 3. And they have 4 wins. Can someone explain this?
No. Other than the fact that they always start slow, but they always just go on this run. They're not doing that this year, and it's like, I don't know what's going on. This is going to be another one of those where we said Myles Garrett. It's a shame that he won't see him in the playoffs. It's going to be a shame if we don't see this team there at the end, because they certainly have all the caliber to be a good playoff team. But I don't know. Their games, this game, and probably most of their games are a lot like their whole season, where they start off and just, I don't know, where they sleep and then just is that their strategy always? It's like just okay, let's spot the other team a lead, and then we'll do it. We'll come back.
They were down by 3 touchdowns and came back to tie it. Had all the momentum going for them, and Herbert in the second half looked a little lost.
Yep,
he got away with a few that he should have been picked off on. I think that the biggest issue is Cincinnati's defense is a shadow of what they used to be. Beyond what's his name? Oh my God, not Hutchinson. No. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank.
I can't think of him.
You know, their sack guy.
That guy.
The guy who.
Yeah, I don't know. They scare me though. I mean, the Steelers still have to play them twice.
I know. Yep.
So, because they can put up points, they can.
Yes, they can.
I mean, they're the kind of team though that still has the potential. If they run the table, they can end up 10-7, and they're in.
Yeah, and I think if they do sneak in that way, then they're going to be like, I don't want to. No one's going to say, I don't want to.
No. I mean,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bruce.
I was saying that Tirico was talking about. He said Herbert played a flawless first half of the game up till halftime. Then Burrow said, "Okay, watch this," type of thing for the second half, and it was just fortunate enough for. I always say San Diego. I'm sorry for the Chargers to get the ball back with a couple minutes left. And Herbert said, "Okay, we got a couple minutes. We're not going to give the ball back to Burrows. Let's see what we can do." And they scored. Yeah. It was like last person had the ball would win the game.
Did you see that one throw that Herbert made where he was rolling right and he threw back across his body a perfect dart into the end zone to I forgot who caught it. It wasn't McConkey.
I was really enjoying that game.
Holy moly. It was a fun game to watch.
It was a great game to watch. McConkey, who's he play for? That he's
them, right?
The Chargers have
McConkey. Yeah, them.
Is that one of Phil McConkey's boys?
I believe so. Yeah.
Because he's like 5 foot nothing or something like that.
5'10", maybe. Yeah, he's a talented receiver.
He is very talented.
This game showed me the difference between a Jim Harbaugh coach Chargers team and a what was that guy's name?
Was that Dennis Allen? Not Dennis Allen.
The guy last year.
Staley.
Staley. Yeah. Right. The difference right there.
Right.
We're late in the game, and Herbert was looking kind of sad. They didn't fold it up. They didn't.
Right.
And they didn't make any stupid decisions with clock management or field possession. I don't know. The Chargers they're an ugly team that's gaining momentum. I mean, they win ugly every week. This week they won with style points, but next week they'll probably get into another knife fight with somebody.
Yeah, they also got a little bit lucky, and much like Tucker, the Cincinnati kicker McPherson, Burrows sent them out there. 2 easy field goals brought him down there in the fourth quarter, and he missed both of them. So
which would have put them ahead and made the Chargers play from behind. But that Cincinnati defense to give up that run to J.K. Dobbins,
that was
really terrible. I mean, there was no tackling. He just blew through everybody. I mean, I know they loaded the line of scrimmage looking for a run play, and once he broke containment, he was gone. There's nobody back there. But I don't know. These are 2 teams that bear watching, but Cincinnati's really bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Really bizarre.
This was
The
not.
roof is open for the first time for a Cowboys game in over 2 calendar years. Oh, they closed it.
The wind got in there and exacerbated the looseness.
The wind got in there, exasperated the looseness.
Well, why is there looseness in the first place?
How old is that place?
Jeez.
I gotta look that up.
I think it's not that old. I think it's like 10 years old at the most.
Maybe 15.
Exasperated the looseness.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the Texans kept the Cowboys in this game for a long period of time. It was like really close, and then they had like, I don't know, maybe the stat of the year for the Cowboys where it's Cooper Rush, right? And he gets the ball stripped. An offensive lineman from the Cowboys recovers it. Then he gets the ball stripped.
Funny you mentioned that, Edson.
And that was how it turned.
Scoop and score on a double fumble. That's the Dallas season right there.
Yep, that's
Yeah, Cooper Rush had the ball, got exasperated from the ball, and
then
lineman got
the game
exasperated.
got out of hand. Up until then, it was kind of close, which was frustrating. Must have been frustrating for Houston.
So the Jerry World opened in May of 2009. So it's 15 years old, and the roof's falling.
That's
You gotta love Joe Buck's call on that too. The roof is open for the first time in 2 years. Oh, it's closed. Hang on.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Forgot to put a cowboy hat on. Yeehaw!
And Bruce, I know you've kidded about this for a couple of weeks, but I think there might be something to was Dak's injury really necessary to end the season, or was there just like a silent agreement from all parties that this makes it so much easier to take, that their season was going to be like this anyways, and just now they have a place to blame? Like, well, of course we lost our starting quarterback. That's why we're doing so bad.
I'm surprised Stephen A. Smith hasn't picked up on that, because he'll bust any reason and say, well.
I'm thinking that might be true.
I think the week before, or was it 2 weeks, you saw Dak up in the press box.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he was like, I think he was supposed to get a second opinion, right? And I think the second they were just like, go for surgery, just call it, bag it. It's over. It's over.
Why is it? Well, like I said before, Dak and Deshaun Watson are just looking at each other going,
we're getting paid.
That's it. We're getting paid.
Yeah. That's their season.
And think about this. Traditionally, the Thanksgiving games, that Detroit game at 1:00 was always like, I'll put it on the background as I'm like,
exactly
I'm
right.
Paying attention to that. And then we're really waiting for the actual game, which is the Cowboy, whatever.
The Cowboys Giants game.
Oh, it's going to be the total opposite.
Yeah. That midday game is going to suck. That's when the tryptophan will really kick in.
Yeah.
You got Cowboys Giants after you eat. Oh, boy.
Talk about a terrible game that's going to be.
Holy moly.
And the Detroit, I think, is playing that's a divisional game. Who are they playing? Like
Chicago.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the divisional game.
Yeah.
That's going to be good.
So I think it's safe to say at this point in time, Dallas, farewell and adieu to your dear Spanish ladies.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do.
You ladies of Spain.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jaws.
It's not. It won't even be fun to fork them. I mean, we already know.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I still think the best thing is when you watch ESPN First Take the Monday after the Cowboys lose, or leading up to that, the camera slowly pans in on Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
I told you. I told you.
But this week he was actually different. He was like, I feel bad. He felt bad. He showed sympathy and kindness.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's not.
He took pity
funny
on the fans. It's I
It's
know.
it's only when like the Cowboys, there's a chance that and then of course you crush them. But it's like now there's no.
Yeah, it's low hanging fruit now. But yeah, and on the Texans side, Joe Mixon has made a huge difference, and now
Yes.
Nico Collins is back, and like I was saying it a few weeks ago, CJ and Nico have that thing going on. They have that Burrow Chase thing going on, and he looks a lot more comfortable when he knows that guy's on the field. CJ Stroud, I'm talking. When he knows Nico Collins out there, he looks a lot more confident. So week 12, before we do our picks, we'll quickly touch on the snow globe game.
Classic game with the snow coming down.
Yeah, there's so many things to dissect with this one. I will just say that Cleveland outcoached and outplayed the Steelers. It's as simple as that. And George Pickens has a real problem.
Yes, he needs to just be quiet
with his maturity. This guy, time and again, and this has been an Achilles heel of Mike Tomlin teams from the beginning. He lets inmates run the asylum. How many problem wide receivers has he allowed to just get away with this kind of nonsense over and over again? And, not only does Pickens get in a fight with somebody, it looked like somebody in the crowd in the front row in the end zone at the end of the game, but then his post-game comments, he says, one, I don't respect the Browns. They're no good. And two, after you just got beaten by them, and two, the weather was the problem. It really affected our ability to win the game. Well, George, the other team had to play in it too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, take the microphone away from this guy. It's a shame because he's so talented. He's just
he is.
It's one of those. He's got $1 million talent, a 10-cent head. Yeah.
Well, you guys have it going on now. Did you see Tomlin's press conference when someone said, "Oh yeah, Antonio Brown said he wants to play for you guys to do it for free," and Tomlin just walked off? Said, "Oh no." I
think he should. Here's the one thing I don't understand about the Steelers. They trade for Mike Williams, and he gets in. I think he had 3 snaps this week or something. I mean, he got in at the end of the game. His uniform was clean. Like I said to Doug, look at him. His uniform's clean. They're not using him. And then Preston Smith also, I think he played 7 snaps. What are you trading for these guys to not use them for? I don't get what's going on there. I'm going on record now. This team is still going to finish 10-7. The Steelers. They're going to win 2 more games. That's it. That is it. I think they'll beat Cleveland in the rematch, and they'll split with Cincinnati. That's it. They're not getting any more than that. So we'll see going forward. But let's make our picks of the week. Bruce,
I'll continue my downfall.
You were 5-0, Bruce. You can go first.
Well, I certainly don't have the right to go first. So
no, you're going last this week.
Yeah. You're going to get to the back of the bus.
Yeah.
And now
that's great because I'm still trying to figure out what my picks are.
Oh wait, Edson, we'll get you your picks on Wednesday, right?
Yeah. No, Tuesday at least. But let's not push it too much.
That's right. The holidays coming up. We'll give you the day's grace. Edson is 3-2-2-5 with the 5 ties.
His Black Friday specials are.
And there is a Black Friday game actually, but yeah.
Yes, there is. Yeah. Yes, there is.
But that's for next week to figure out.
That's next week. Okay. All right. Let's be serious. And now the dreaded shout outs. For my Move Church family, my friend Boop, 2 weeks till vacation, boom. And to my friends Matt and Daryl, have a great concert. Keep on rocking, Bruce in USA. Thank you.
Nice.
I was waiting for the music you promised me, but I'm not gonna. We'll hold off on that.
I promise music.
Yeah, I said you need to do a little intro thing, but you don't have to now. I don't know. After all, when you're 5-0, you forget things, right, Keith?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
at it too.
I'm not sure I'm here anymore. What are you talking about?
I don't know. You're basking in your glory. We're both basking in our 5-0 glory.
Oh, that's what it is.
That's right. I want to be like Edson, 3-2. Not okay. Now,
wait, hold on. As a person who's 3-2 every week, me, I think that is an insult. It's still one game over.
I know. It's so sad that I have to feel bad about that.
It's just treading water. You can't get anywhere when you.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't say anything. You told me I started the year 1-4 twice.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I know. That's true.
Okay. Being serious, my picks. The first one is oh boy, this is a tough one. This one makes me nervous because it could happen. I'll go backwards. I'm taking Washington over Dallas, but you never know. That game scares me.
I think that's a good pick because Washington has dropped 2 in a row.
Every divisional game is scary.
But I'm just remembering back in 1989 when the Redskins were having a halfway decent season. First year Jimmy Johnson's being coach, and the Cowboys came into RFK and beat them 13-3, and that was the only Cowboy victory for the whole year.
1-15, yeah.
They were
1-15.
Yeah.
They were 1-15. They came into Washington and beat them. Beat a good Redskins team. And in 1991, Redskins start the year 11-0. Cowboys come into RFK and beat them 24-21. So those two games are on my mind, but I'll still take Washington.
We just saw that Thursday. Divisional games are, kind of like that.
They're kind of wonky.
Doesn't matter what the records are.
Yeah, no, you had 2-8 Browns, 8-2 Steelers, and the Browns won. So,
But I'll take Washington in this one.
That's a good pick. I like that pick. My first pick, I'm just it's the flavor of the week for me, but I've got to go with them. Where is it now? There it is. I'm going with the Flying Bo Nixes. I'm taking Denver over the Oakland LA Raiders, Vegas, whatever they are. The team with no identity. That's
right. That's not such a bad one. Bo Nix keeps on playing the way he's playing.
And I don't
might be all right.
And I don't see this as a road game because they have no home field advantage in Vegas.
Right.
I mean, literally every time the opponent's got at least 40% of the crowd, if not higher. I mean, when Pittsburgh was there, it was like 80%. So, that it's a tough place to have a home field advantage when you're in Vegas because most of it's people from out of town. It's an activity for the people in town.
Right.
The Raiders moving out of the Bay Area was really stupid. I know
it was.
I know that stadium's a dump. I know Oakland's a shithole, but they could have figured something out.
That was a mistake. I mean, Keith, and Edson, you remember, I know Keith probably remembers it more when Pittsburgh would play Oakland in Oakland. It was like fight for your life going to that stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like real football. I mean, these two teams hate each other. Now it's just like, we're going to Vegas. Oh, we're going to Vegas? Okay, cool.
Yeah. The Raiders have lost their mystique. I mean, it's
right.
The Davis family's got enough money, and now they got Brady in there. Like, build your own stadium and stay in the Bay Area. Go to San Jose. Just stay in that area.
Yeah.
Or go to San Diego. They need a team now. Be the San Diego Raiders. I don't know. The Vegas move, I think, was just a mistake for that team.
Right.
You take a team like, I don't know, the Cardinals or the Titans and move them to Vegas. That's fine. Who cares, right? But
there's no mystique. There's no mystique to build up on.
Right. The Raiders had tradition. They were the big bad Oakland Raiders. And even when they moved to LA in the 80s, I hated that. They were to me, they were still the Oakland Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I kept saying it over and over again. Yeah.
Kind of like I still call the Chargers like you did, Bruce. I call them the San Diego Chargers still too.
Right.
And the Commanders are the Redskins. It's as simple as that. So, Edson, what do you got?
Well, that game was not the first one on my list, but I might as well just do it now so we don't have to revisit. Same thing, Denver over Raiders.
I went with them last week, and they certainly didn't disappoint. So I wanted to just keep riding the bandwagon. I'm really like up on this team. It's like there's such a surprise and kind of fun to watch.
They are kind of fun to watch, aren't they? Yeah, and Bo Nix looks awesome. He looks awesome.
I hope this is the start of maybe the maybe it won't happen this year, but the Broncos like kind of overcoming Kansas City in the next few years.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I think, and this is still weeks out, but I think Denver's going to beat them in Denver, the Chiefs, when they rematch them.
I think they don't have a good shot.
Yeah.
One thing I am liking about Denver in the last couple of weeks, I am enjoying they're going old school with those uniforms. It's because though that orange crush looking uniform, I mean that was nice.
I just
those
wish
old school uniform.
I wish they put the 70s ones with the blue helmet back.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, but they should wear all orange. I hate that navy blue. It's not the Broncos to me.
Yeah.
What do you got, Bruce?
Number 2, Green Bay over San Francisco, because I read something. I think you guys probably aware of this, that Bosa's not playing and neither is Purdy.
Wow. What?
Purdy's not playing?
I heard of Bosa, but wow.
I think that came through late yesterday.
Wow.
Let's see.
Jeez.
And they have a back. Let me look on my
Purdy.
Wish I had known. Maybe that would have been one of my picks.
Yep, here it is. Here it is.
With a shoulder injury.
Wow.
Yeah. 49ers rule out Brock Purdy and defensive end Nick Bosa for Packers game.
That's amazing.
Ooh. The thick plottins. I'll tell you what. That's a great pick. Now I know you take the Packers all the time anyway, but that's a great. Could we see a 5-6 49ers team?
That would be.
And we
go ahead.
With the Super Bowl loser, the next year tends to not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
See that over and over again.
And the mystery of where Josh Dobbs has been solved. He's a backup to Brandon Allen, who will start for the 49ers this week.
I've never even heard of Brandon Allen. Holy cow.
Neither have I.
Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, that will be a good.
I thought he was hanging like wall art for people.
Yeah, for progressive.
Yeah. Well, what do they call him? The Pastronaut?
Right.
Smartest man in the league.
And Trent Williams is hurt too.
Oh, wow. Oh, come on.
Oh. Jeez. I've never seen a team, and this seems like it's always the 49ers, that just stockpile injury problems. They are the walking wounded year after year after year, this team. Jeez. They're never healthy. Is it strength and conditioning? What is it? Doesn't it seem like that, Edson? Like,
oh my gosh, San Francisco is
we're
always like the
49ers. Yeah,
the poster team for injuries every single time. It's like, holy cow.
So weird. Well, I'm going with, and this might seem too obvious, but I'm going with Baker Mayfield over Pizza Boy Tommy DeVito in New York. I got Tampa Bay beating New York. Baker's gonna cook up a nice pizza pie, especially getting Mike Evans back. That's gonna be huge because I think Baker looked great without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Yeah, he did. He did.
So he's going to get his deep threat back. That's and meanwhile, all these other guys got a chance to elevate their game, in a lot of losing games. But he was right in there every time. I love Baker Mayfield, if you hadn't noticed. So I'm taking Tampa Bay.
And you did it to me again. It wasn't on my top of the list, but it was on there. So I'll just say it right now. I had Tampa Bay on my picks, and a lot of just what you said, and Mike Evans back. And I think this is going to be, they know it. Tampa Bay knows that this is going to be their time to make their move, and they can't let this game be the way to kind of put the roadblock on him. They know they got to win this game.
Yeah, I agree with the Falcons. Are the Falcons on a bye this week? They are.
Yeah, exactly.
Falcons, Bills, Bengals, Jags, Jets.
These weeks where it's 6 teams are on a bye makes it a little bit more difficult. But
yeah, but you're right. This is Tampa Bay. This is their window. They're gonna make their move now. So good pick, Edson, because I picked it. What do you got, Bruce?
I wish I had been up on top of things with the San Francisco situation. That would have been an easy pick for me, but I'm not going to change it now.
Me too.
It just came through. It came through late yesterday. I was like looking.
I didn't
it
see
came
it
through.
at all. But
Wow.
I mean, I have a question for you guys. I'm wondering. I mean, Edson, you're my boy and everything, but you ever notice that Keith and I have our list written down and everything? I think Edson just like waits for us. Then he does the opposite, or to make it good, he writes down the team we like to.
I would agree with that, except he usually picks first because
that is the flaw in your plan. That I usually go first.
That's the flaw in my plan because I usually go first.
So yes, this week it does look like that.
Okay.
We're up to the third round here.
I stand corrected. I stand corrected.
Good theory, though. In fact, that would more apply to me, actually.
Keith is feverishly like, okay, no. Oh, well, maybe. Number 3, my layup for the week: Kansas City over Carolina.
Oh yeah, well, definitely.
I think you should have to take the point spread with that too.
Did you see the point spread for the Redskins game?
No, what is it?
10.5.
Oh, I thought it was 10.5. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. So you had a team on a 2-game losing streak is giving 10.5 to Dallas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know that's the thing. That's a huge.
That's how much Vegas thinks of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Wow. I know the Panthers Chiefs is also like,
was it like 14 or something?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
13 and a half.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
10.5.
10.5.
Oh, that's it. I expected that to be higher, but all right.
10.5. Are you kidding
me? That's according to ESPN.
Well, wow. Well, they have that bet ESPN now, so they're plugged into Vegas. Wow. I guess they figure because the Chiefs have that lowest point differential for a winning team.
Yeah. Okay.
That they don't score a lot and they're on the road, but still, my God, I think they're going to beat them by 3-4 scores. I can't see this. The Chiefs are mad too after last week.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have that undefeated monkey off their back. They don't have to worry about it.
That's true.
They got a loss in their back pocket, so now they
true.
can just go out and play loose, right?
Yep.
Speaking of Kansas City, hey, I loved the three of us at the same time. After Kansas City lost, we dug into our phones and found Larry Zonka cracking open that champagne. Yeah. We all said it to each other.
I was going to grab that video, and I forgot.
That is what
I forgot I was going to show that. Oh, it's my turn. Edson.
Oh, geez.
You can hate me for this, but I'm taking the Dolphins.
Okay.
At home against New England.
And
I think it's going to be a tough game.
You did it again.
I think Drake May is going to keep it close, but the Dolphins are feeling it.
Might as well just do the double pick right now.
So we have all the same picks.
Yeah.
So far. Wow.
I had the Dolphins, and I don't think this is a gimme by all means. I mean, I'm scared of Drake May. It is at home, which is a little bit better for her, but I could see this go either way. But if the Dolphins are serious about trying to get back in, this is a game they have to have. I'm
with you all the way. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Miami will end up beating them by like a touchdown.
I was surprised that I saw that wasn't the spread on this 7.5. I'm surprised by that. It's like, why would you do that? It's like I would think
7.5. 7.5.
I think it would be a 3-point thing here. What the heck?
Yeah, me too.
What the heck? Oh, anyways.
No, that's what Vegas is thinking highly of Miami now. Pretty interesting. Now, the fact that you and I have the same picks through the first three could go one of two ways.
Yeah.
I'm either dragging you down or you are elevating me. And I hope it's the latter.
Or I could be dragging you down.
I don't know. You're out in first place by quite a bit. So, wow. All right, round 4. Bruce, what do you got?
Well, there's a penalty. There's very few penalties in football for 15 yards. With this one, you have to throw the flag for. because I am piling on Miami over New England.
Boy, when the Dolphins don't show up, we're really going to be pissed off.
We're going on hiatus.
Everybody's going to be blaming me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Let's blame Edson for that.
Yeah.
Preemptive.
Edson will not be appearing this week. He's going to witness protection program.
I think the biggest obstacle with the Patriots is that their roster is a hodgepodge of nothingness. And they got a good quarterback, but not much else beyond that. Stevenson can run the ball. But and what's that dude, that rookie receiver? Polk? Is that his name? Polk? Starting to emerge from New England. Polk, I think. Polk. Anyway, but yeah. Good pick because we all have it. I think but what do you see, Bruce? Like a 6 or 7 point game, 3 point game?
It's going to be close because New England's playing for pride, and Mayo's a good coach. I said that from the beginning of the year, and the way your quarterback is playing, I think it's going to be like 24-17.
Yeah, I can see
that's
that.
Yeah. But 24-17, that's, I mean, we had to do scores. I would say that.
They are a roster of nothing, though, the Patriots.
Right. They have nobody.
So my fourth pick, I'm taking the Detroit Loins, going into the Indianapolis and smacking the Colts around.
Yep.
You know, I expect this is the second week that Zadarius Smith's going to start for Detroit in place of Aiden Hutchinson. And I think that quarterback in Indianapolis, Richardson, is going to be baffled this week. It's going to be a little different for him. He's not playing the Jets.
Yeah.
He's playing Detroit's defense. And I don't think the Colts defense, their defense is solid. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But right now, it doesn't look like anybody can stop this Detroit team. Jeez. And it makes you wonder what happened 2 weeks ago when Detroit played Houston. And Goff threw 5 picks and he looked all out of sorts. Like, you wonder, like, did he not get enough sleep the night before?
Or what did the Houston defense do?
Did he lock himself out of the house? You know, was something else was in his head, it seems, because that was the one time they looked really out of sorts and still won the game. So I don't think we're going to see that happen again with Jared Goff.
I think that game, you might laugh at this, but I heard somebody talking about it. I think that might be a trap game.
It could be.
Oh, definitely could be.
It very well could be. I mean, the Colts are a 500 team. They're not a pushover.
They're out of the division. You know, it's like less important. You know, it could be.
Yeah. I just feel something very weird about that game.
And Detroit knows it has a short
week. They got to turn it around and play.
Might already be starting to prepare for the Bears. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Could be.
I don't think that they have that mentality, but you know, who knows?
You never know.
I kind of think, Edson, you called it at the beginning when we recapped last week's Detroit game over Jacksonville. That's a game where they could have just showed up, right? They figure we're playing the Jaguars, we just got to show up. And instead of just showing up and getting by, they crushed them. They put their boot on their neck. So I'm with you. I don't think Detroit has that letdown mentality because they've won nothing yet. If they'd already won a Super Bowl, you know, they're trying to prove to everybody they are the best team. And I don't think Campbell's going to let them get down for any week.
Yep.
Really don't. So anyway, that's my fourth pick. What do you got, Edson?
I got Houston over Tennessee. Nico Collins came back last week. Okay, I'm interested to see if you can see that old Houston team from last year or some kind of semblance of it. And they know that this is going to be like, it's a divisional game, so that does scare me a little bit because as we said earlier in the show, Tennessee does show up. But if the Texans are serious about, you know, taking this division and going further in, you know, as far as into the playoffs, this is the game that they have to have.
Good pick, and all the reasoning is sound on that. So
I actually think it'll be good, at least good for most of the game.
Yeah, well, the Titans are in every game.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't get blown out in their division opponent. And, you know, at this point, Tennessee would want to topple the top, right?
Yeah, they certainly would, just like the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game.
Play spoiler, right. What do you got, Bruce?
Same thing.
Oh,
Houston over Tennessee.
well, then I'll just quickly say my last pick is also Houston over Tennessee. So there won't be much ground to make up. I got 4 of the same games as you, Edson.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm not catching you this week, but yeah, for all the same reasons. This is where the Texans have to start to assert themselves as a true playoff contender. I mean, they're going to make the playoffs because they're going to win the division. But I mean, as far as like, are they going to make a run? Are they going to do any damage in the postseason? So far, I've seen no indication that they will. I want to see the Houston team that we saw last year. And they're starting to maybe look that way. Stroud is still inconsistent, though. He had a terrible second half last week.
Yeah, I wonder if it's still in his head where this kind of timer goes up because of his offensive line isn't as nearly as good as last year. I wonder if that's kind of got him mentally off.
Yeah, maybe thinking he has to get rid of the ball quicker, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but with Collins back, that should help a little bit.
It already has, but yeah, I just want to see them take that next level step.
Yeah.
Coming into the year, we thought this might be the team that takes the Chiefs down, and they haven't looked anywhere close to that. I don't think they can play with the Chiefs right now. We'll see.
I just found a very interesting stat of the day that we're all going to love. Between 2002 and 2003, the Cowboys won 16 straight games at home.
Oh,
and now they've lost. Since the Packers game, they lost 5 straight at home.
6. 5 this year and 1 in the Packers playoff game. And they've lost them all by 20 points or more.
Yeah. Now that's the stat of the day.
So wait a minute. That streak by the Cowboys was actually better than the recent Kansas City streak? Wow.
No, I'm just looking at while you guys were talking, I said, when was the last time the Cowboys won at home? And they talked about that. But that's not the worst stat.
Yeah, at home. Yeah.
The Cowboys, they had a 14-game losing streak between 1989 and 1990.
Well, yeah, that definitely makes sense.
That was that's when they sold the team and Jones bought it and hired
1-15. Yep.
Yeah, and that one victory. I wouldn't. That's when Keith was talking to me. You said that's when I was sort of a Redskins fan. I just did not talk to anyone for a month after that game.
But the most genius move they made was trading Herschel Walker for a busload, and turned out to get Michael Irvin in that deal and Emmitt Smith in that deal.
Yeah.
And won 3 championships with those guys. So sometimes you got to hit rock bottom before you can climb up. But
they're on their way there now.
They're on their way now. I don't think they're going to be able to trade a guy for players ever again. But yeah, so they've lost 6 straight at home by 20 points or more in each game, and they've only led in all those games total for about 2.5 minutes at the lead.
Wow.
Stat of the day, stat of the day. The Cowboys suck all day. We don't care. We think they're. Who cares about the Cowboys because they're part of the stat of the day?
So, bye, Cowboys. Last week we did our disappointments.
Hold on a second.
Before we sign off.
Before we make a mistake, I know I still have to do that last pick.
I thought you did your 5th pick. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
And I wasn't kidding. And I wasn't kidding when I said I was literally still trying to pick it. So I'm gonna have to do it quick now. So it's
you can't take the Jets. They're on a bye.
No, I wasn't. Yeah, good point.
But they won't lose.
It's going to be between 2 tough games, but I'm going to finally go with Seattle over Arizona.
Wow. That's going to be a good game. That's going to be a real good game. It's actually
going to be between that or the Chargers over Baltimore, but I don't know. I'm going to stick with Seattle after last game.
Wow.
It's a divisional game. It's an whatever pick 'em game. I get it, but
it's in Seattle, which helps them.
Yeah,
usually.
Anyways,
you know what? And I'm with you because I know what the Cardinals record says, but I could see them coming out of a bye and just completely laying an egg here.
And some of those games were really very close game. I mean,
Yeah.
last second win. So
Heroics. Yeah. Well, same with Gino last week, but
yeah, same thing. Yep.
wow.
This is the first time I heard someone say this is the first time Seattle's had a four-game losing streak at home. And they used to be invincible at home.
Yeah.
That 12th man, and I think the 12th man and Russell Wilson in his prime also helped that along. But
For sure.
And and you mentioned that Monday night we have the Harbowl, Jim versus
That's right.
Harbaugh on Monday night. That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go near picking that game. But
I know. I was going to, and I'm like, nah.
So a quick check of the standings before we do our. Last week we did our disappointments. This week we'll do some of our surprises before we sign off. You got the Bills leading the AFC East at 9-2. Nobody else is even close. Dolphins inching their way into a playoff spot, perhaps. Steelers still lead the Central at 8-3, with the Ravens at 7-4. Texans leading the South at 7-4, with the Colts hanging in there 5-6.
Yeah.
Chiefs at 9-1. Chargers are in the rearview mirror, 7-3.
I mean, would have been really close if Denver pulled that off. So
and Denver, right? They could be 8-2 right now. It'll be a game, and the Broncos eking their way into it as well at 6-5. And then in the NFC, Eagles at 8-2 with Washington Commando team Redskins right on their heels. Lions 9-1, Vikings 8-2, Packers 7-3. Holy cow, Batman!
That's the league right there. That's the division right there.
That is the division. The NFC South, the Falcons are giving this thing back. They're doing their best to say, I know we had this locked up, but we don't want it. Here, Tampa Bay, you can have it.
Much like a lot of their games.
Yeah, right. And we talked about the West already. Everybody's 5-5, and the Cardinals are 6-4.
Quagmire.
That's whack-a-mole. I don't know who's going to end up on top on that one. But if we look at the playoff picture right now, get these.
I just wonder how close it will be at the end to this picture because so many things.
Cookies. Yeah. So Chiefs 1, Bills 2, Steelers 3, which flip-flop. The Steelers were the 2 seed.
Oh, right.
They lost to Cleveland. Texans 4, Chargers 5, Ravens 6, Broncos in there at the 7th.
Yeah.
And there we go on the bubble.
In
the hunt on the bubble. You got the Dolphins, Bengals, Browns are still in it. Jets, Patriots. Oh, they got them all.
I think that
nobody's mathematically eliminated.
I think Browns are cut off there realistically.
Yeah, I'd cut it off at Cincinnati. That's what she said. So NFC, we got Detroit in first, Philly second, Cardinals with the 3 seed currently.
Yeah.
This is how. That's amazing because you've got teams like the Vikings and the Packers and the Commanders with better records, but the Cardinals and Falcons, because they're leading the division, get the higher seed.
And you got both the Rams and the 49ers out right now.
Yep. So Falcons have the 4th seed over 3 teams that are far and away better. And then you got the Rams, Seahawks, 49ers.
There's the 3 right there.
Bucks, Bears, even the Saints are still in it.
Okay.
They got to run the table, though. They're going to have to win out, which they're not going to do. So
they'll push on through. They will push on through.
They got a 3% chance of doing that right now, Bruce. So, and the Bears have a 2% chance of getting in. So I would cut this off at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
50% get in. So playoff picture's looking good. So surprises this year. Throw one out there.
I mean, I know we already talked about this, and that was going to be my first one. Bo Nix and the Broncos. I mean,
great pick.
Talked a lot about it throughout the show, so it's not a surprise that I was going to say that.
Great pick.
Like I remember all the criticism when they made that draft pick, and
I was one of them. I'm like, what are you doing?
And they kind of like laid low for just build up slowly, and now they're kind of right there. It's just that what he did last week. Wow.
And it's interesting because he goes to Denver, where Justin Herbert is in the same division in LA with the Chargers. They both went to Oregon. They're both Oregon.
Oh
quarterbacks.
yeah,
And they both kind of play the same way. They look
Yeah.
almost the same. They have the same body type, everything. So that's interesting to me. You know how there's always these patterns that develop.
Yep.
That's one where I'm like, wow, they both went to Oregon. They both play the same way. They look similar in style, and then they're in the same division. Bruce, you got a surprise?
Yeah, my surprise is you're gonna love this one. My surprise is Baker Mayfield. He's played competitive football. I mean, because he can get wild. You know that he can get crazy.
Yeah,
but he looks very composed. He's got a great coach, and I love Todd Bowles, Mister. And because he is like, Baker, just don't go out there and screw up. That's all you have to do. Just go out. And what he did to Bosa a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, and Bosa hasn't been the same since.
Right.
But
and even after those devastating injuries, both leading receivers, they're probably the two of the best players. They still,
they're still in the games.
They're not falling apart. I'm very impressed with Baker Mayfield.
No, I would say Tampa Bay, Mayfield, and then the coaching and everything else on that Tampa Bay team. Based on their circumstance, they're hanging in there. I know they're 4-6, but they're a good 4-6.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a hopeless 4-6, and I still think they got a shot at winning that division.
Yep,
that's an excellent pick. I'm going to go with this one right here.
Oh yeah, I remember.
As it stands today,
Yep.
I had the Steelers at like 9-8 at the beginning
too.
of the year, and they still might end up 9-8.
Well, I had 8-1 just to be fair.
That's right, you did have 8-1. The Browns. You whiffed on the Browns, but
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I saw this coming. And there's still, they have a gauntlet to run through in the second half. But as it stands today at 8-3, did not see this coming.
Very surprised,
especially with Russell Wilson. He fits like a glove with this team. It just works. I thought he was kind of washed, and he's not what he was, but he just fits the offense so well. His deep ball's deadly accurate.
Oh yeah.
And that's been the difference with Pittsburgh this year is they're able to actually stretch the field and extend the defense. What was that?
That was my phone talking about how Pittsburgh lost.
Oh. As I'm singing their praises, Bruce says, they suck.
No, a friend of mine who's like a great big Cleveland Browns fan puts on their Facebook page, Cleveland beat Pittsburgh. Someone wrote down, but they still suck. Who cares?
Yeah.
Well, that was their Super Bowl. Let's face it.
Right.
Any other surprises for anybody else?
I knew that division NFC West was always the most competitive one, but I didn't think that the Cardinals will be the ones that would be at the top right now. That's definitely a big surprise for me. And I thought they would be better than last year, but geez, to be leading in the division at this point.
Yeah, I thought I had them earmarked for third place. I thought they'd make a leap and be more competitive than people would give them credit for. I also did not see 6-4 out of the Cardinals. Another surprise for me is Washington.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm not surprised at Jaden Daniels because the minute he was drafted, I said, this guy's the next CJ Stroud. This was the best pick. I love him. I think he's one of my favorite players in the league, if not the favorite right now. Mini Lamar, but but I didn't see Washington looking as good as they do. They're legitimate, and their defense has come along week to week, gotten better and better and better. At the beginning of the year, they were a sieve. They were giving up all kinds of yards and scores, but they've clamped it down. And that's Dan Quinn. Look what he did with Dallas's defense, and now he's gone and Zimmer's in there. They're a shit show.
I can't believe that drop off. Wow.
Yeah. So that's a surprise for me. Bruce, you got a surprise?
Yeah, it's a great surprise. How much Dallas sucks.
That's a way to backdoor disappointment.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not disappointed. I'm happy. I'm surprised how much. Being serious, Dallas is like.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Dallas can't tackle anybody. They can't tackle me. I have asthma. I'm older. I hurt my back doing something. Well, that's a different story. I hurt my back, and I would run down the field, and I would make 10 yards before the Cowboys even knew what the hell was going on.
Well, they're surprisingly bad. Yeah, but
it's surprisingly bad.
That should have gone on last week's
disappointments.
But
it's not a disappointment for us.
It's not a disappointment for us.
No, but based on expectations and
I know.
3 12-win seasons in a row, and all of a sudden they're in that.
Yeah, and not losing a game at home last season, except for that playoff game.
Yeah,
and all started with my Packers beating the crap out of them.
And we talked about how Tucker had an incident. I think that is what broke the Cowboys. That game against Green Bay. Ever since then, it's like they just can't do anything.
No, that in their offseason where they made 0 moves, they didn't do anything.
No improvements, yeah.
And on top of not bringing anything new in, they didn't negotiate contracts for their star players until the 11th hour. So they were hanging these guys out, and it's just there's a bad vibe all around, and it's all Jerry's fault. And I keep comparing him to George Steinbrenner, and the parallels are pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would give the Vikings a surprise. I knew they'd be a decent team, but when JJ McCarthy was announced that he was gone for the year, I was like, oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
They got to go with Sam Darnold. This is going to be a shit show. And hey,
give that coaching staff a lot of credit for that.
Kevin O'Connell is amazing. He was on McAfee the other day. Wow, just what a great head coach. Not a good head coach. He's a great head coach. And he has somehow prevented Sam Darnold from Sam Darnolding. Like, Darnold struggled for a couple weeks there. Yeah. Last week, the week before, threw 5 picks in 2 games and was like, here we go. They're gonna be Sam Darnold. He's gonna seeing the ghosts. But O'Connell has a way of just calming him and keeping him, with the short memory, which we've never seen before. And they corrected it last week. And I think it's going to go down to the wire with them in Green Bay and for that second place. I think Detroit's running away with the division, to be honest. But any other surprises before we say sayonara?
That's it for me.
I'm good. As Edson said, you're talking about Sam Darnold.
Jets bag.
I'm still waiting.
Jets bag. No. Jets bag doesn't have anymore. Thank you.
I'm still waiting for. I'll be here all week. I'll be here all year. What are you talking about? I'm still waiting for Edson's prediction to come true for Sam Darnold. He made it like the beginning of the year. Time for pumpkins, but no. He's been fine.
Hold on. Let me correct you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I said he's on pumpkin watch.
Oh, that's right. I apologize. You're right. You're right. Pumpkin watch.
Well, I agree with you. I'm a little surprised that he overcame that so far. I really thought something would have happened by now, and Keith was right. I made a good point. He started to slide a little bit, and that coach kind of stabilized him.
Yep.
Yes. When Sam played for Jets bag, he was not savable. Poor Jets bag.
Poor Jets bag. Jets bag.
I like Jets bag. I'm keeping him. All right. I think that's enough for 1 week. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to say subscribe, and all that stuff. And we forgot to put join us in the chat. But that's okay, because we'll be back next week for more silly antics.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Well, yes, that's right, because we won't do a show until after Thanksgiving. I want to throw this out there to you guys. Just for hee-haws, giggles, and poops. And we're live. We could make this decision off air, but we'll just do it right now. Do we want to consider one of these upcoming games, like doing a live stream during the game and commenting on the game as it goes?
Sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting.
Does that sound like fun?
That's when Edson will start making his picks.
Yeah. So we'll pick a game offline, but I just want to throw it out there to see if you guys actually want to do that.
Sounds good.
I was going to ask you about doing Dallas the other night for Monday Night Football, but I got home too late. I had to go to
Oh,
My nephew got sworn in as a firefighter.
Oh, that's congratulations.
The ceremony ran long. I got home like the game was already started. Because I was considering let's do that, but then I got a text from my sister that afternoon about that ceremony. So I was like, well, there goes the game. So, but a Cowboys game would be fun, would it not? Or a Jets game?
yeah. Bruce,
Then my friend Jets Bag could also be on the stream.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bruce, you can see me change my picks on live.
And that's the game that end up in a tie, and Nets will be pointing his finger for the whole game.
Oh, okay, that's it.
So we'll have to figure one of those out and do that down the road. But
okay.
Anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends how lame we are.
Mm-hmm.
And, thank you for everyone who is subscribed to the channel and keeps us chugging along. Anything else, you guys?
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a great one.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving. And remember, you'll have the Cowboys and the Giants to sleep off your turkey.
You can take a nap, yeah.
And wake up in time for the Packers game.
That's
right.
Exactly.
The first game and the last game will be great. The one in the middle, that's where you snooze.
That's it.
Yeah, everybody enjoy the football games.
Yes. All right. See you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Yes, I think no. Yes, the joyfulness is over. The joyfulness is over.
Thanks for watching GeekTime TV. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure to check the little bell icon anytime someone from our network drops new content here. Want some GeekTime swag? Check out the merchandise available in the GeekTime TV store, linked in the channel description below. Share GeekTime TV with friends, and as always, thank you for your support. We'll see you soon.